Mr. Inede Gabriel that the church was under attack. During the attack, local vigilantes clashed with the gunmen, killing one of the attackers. His body was taken to the general mortuary in Agenebode. A joint search and rescue team made up of soldiers from the Nigerian Army's 195 Battalion, police officers, vigilantes, and local hunters are currently searching for the victims and the kidnappers. Imo State Police Command secured two series of complaints of kidnapping incidents in Irete and other communities in Owerri West. Local government have conducted an operation at a forest leading to the arrest of 4 suspected kidnappers. The operation, according to the command's spokesperson, DSP Henry Okoye, is part of ongoing efforts to raid the state of criminal elements that are responsible for the recent surge in abduction and other violent crimes in the area. He said the apprehension of the suspects was made successful based on credible intelligence, which the operatives acted upon by besieging the hideout of the criminals in a forest within the Irete axis. Okoye also said the operation led to the apprehension of 4 suspects, and upon searching the suspects and their hideout, 3 fabricated guns with 6 rounds of live cartridges and 3 machetes were discovered, adding that the police command is using the medium to call on the public to remain vigilant and law-abiding as security operatives continue across the state. Enugu State Police Command has rescued 7 male suspects for conspiracy, arrested 7 male suspects for conspiracy and armed robbery. Daniel Indukwe, public relations officer, confirmed the arrest in a statement on Tuesday that the suspects were arrested following a report of armed robbery at Ibagwa Nike, Enugu on February 3rd and 6th, 2025 to the State Criminal Investigation Department following credible intelligence after reports of robberies on February 3rd and 6th, 2025. The suspects who were apprehended by the anti-robbery D9 section have confessed to the crime and will be arraigned in court once investigations are concluded. Commissioner of Police CP Kanayo Uziegbu urged residents to remain law-abiding, vigilant and supportive of the police to reduce crime in Enugu State. Tanker explosion has taken the lives of 2 persons in Ibadan, Oyo State. The incident, which occurred around Gapstar Maga petrol station Orita Challenge in the Oluwoye local government area, happened at about 5 a.m. Eyewitnesses said the victims, identified as the driver of the tanker and his motorboy, were burnt beyond recognition. Confirming the incident, the special advisor on fire service reform to Governor Seyi Makinde and chairman of the State Fire Service Agency, Moruf Akinwande, said the firefighters responded swiftly to the emergency and the situation is now fully under control. Ogun State Police Command has arrested a teenager, Olamide Phillips, for allegedly stabbing his friend Moses Ode to death during a fight on Obalende Street in the Isara area of the state. The police said the incident occurred around 6:30 p.m. on Sunday at the residence of their parents in the community. The command spokesperson, Chief Superintendent of Police Omolola Oduntola, confirmed the suspect's arrest on Tuesday. Although the case of the quarrel between the 2 friends remained unclear, Oduntola said the fight began when Ode walked in as his father was reprimanding Phillips, adding that the victim succumbed to his injuries at the hospital where he was taken for medical treatment in the community. She disclosed that after Ode's death, police operatives from the Isara division launched a manhunt for Phillips and arrested him in Ipara Remo, a neighboring community where he had been hiding, adding that the case would be transferred to the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department in Abeokuta for further investigation. Ilorin Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned 6 officials of the Kwara State Universal Basic Education Board before the State High Court in Ilorin over the alleged misappropriation of 96 million naira. The defendants were arraigned after Justice Suleiman Akambi on the 4-count charge bordering on criminal breach of trust and misappropriation of public funds. According to the statement by the EFCC head of media and publicity, Dele Oyawale, on Tuesday, the officials who served in various capacities as SUBEP allegedly transpired between 2018 and 2020 to divert government funds for personal use. The defendants pleaded not guilty to all charges, and while following their plea, the prosecution counsel, Andrew Akoja, requested a trial date and urged the court to remand the defendants to a federal correctional facility. However, defense counsel Abdullahi Lawal made an oral application for bail. Justice Akambe adjourned the case to April 16, 2025 for further hearing and ordered that the defendants be remanded at the Nigerian Correctional Center in Ilorin. Benue State Governor Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia has mandated the police to provide security for members of the tribunals and others at the premises of the Makurdi High Court complex. A statement on Tuesday by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Mr. Teso Kula, said the court premises in Benue State have remained closed since December due to the ongoing strike by the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, adding that all individuals and groups are directed to refrain from carrying out any form of activity within or around the court premises until further notice. The statement said the local government election petition tribunals are utilizing some court halls for their proceedings and directs that only the election petition tribunals be allowed access to the designated court premises where they are seated. He further said, as a firm believer in the judiciary and the rule of law, His Excellency urges members of the public to remain calm and patient as they await the tribunal's decisions. Tragedy struck in the Abujan Quarter area of Bauchi metropolis when a young man identified as Sifayunu Dahatu, 20 years, was arrested for allegedly killing his mother Salama Abdullahi, 40, with a pistol. According to a statement issued by the spokesman of the Bauchi Police Command, Ahmed Wakili, members of the Peace and Security Committee reported the incident to the A Divisional Police Headquarters on February 24, 2025 at around 3 p.m. Dahatu is accused of attacking his biological mother with a heavy pistol, fracturing both her hands and causing her severe injuries. Upon receiving the report, the Divisional Police Officer CSP Abdullahi Moazu led a team of detectives to the scene and rushed the victim to Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Teaching Hospital for urgent medical attention. However, despite efforts to save her, a medical professional confirmed her dead. Preliminary investigations indicate that a heated altercation between the suspect and his mother led to the attack. The police have since recovered the pistol used in the assault as evidence. Meanwhile, the State Commissioner of Police, CP Anwol Musa Muhammad, has ordered a comprehensive investigation by the State Criminal Investigation Department and also reassured the public that the case will be handled diligently and in accordance with the law, adding that the suspect will face prosecution upon the completion of the investigation. Police has confirmed that the death toll from Sunday's tragic stampede at an almsgiving event in Bauchi State has risen to 7. Initially, 4 people were reported dead after being trapped while attempting to receive alms at Shafa Holdings Company PLC on Jos Road, Bauchi. However, the Bauchi State Police Command spokesperson, SP Ahmed Wakil, later confirmed that 3 more women had succumbed to their injuries. He said the incident occurred around 10:20 a.m. during the company's annual Zakat almsgiving exercise meant to assist the less privileged. 2 of the additional victims died at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital, while the 3rd person passed away at home after being taken away by her family. A witness revealed several others, including women and children, were injured in the chaotic rush, while Wakil assured that more details would be provided as investigations continue. Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi has approved the reduction in the working hours for civil servants during the 2025 Ramadan fast. A statement on Tuesday by the Police Public Relations Officer of the State Head of Civil Service, Mohammed Dagaseri, in Dos, the state capital, said civil servants in the state will now report to the office at 9 a.m. and close at 3 p.m. from Monday to Thursday. Dagaseri said the adjustment aims to allow civil servants more time to prepare for the daily Ramadan break and engage in spiritual activities, stressing that the importance of praying for peace and economic prosperity for both the state and Nigeria as a whole was inevitable. He also said the government's decision reflects its commitment to creating a supportive work environment for employees, especially during the holy month. Remember, you're watching The Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We'll return shortly after this break. Please stay with us.
journalist, Chief Honorable Arthur C. Kalabo, information and communication expert, Dr. Harker Dwight, lecturer, Public Relations, Media and Communication, Dr. Bekwele Lawrence DK, lecturer, Marketing Communication and Public Relations, Opaka Dakuba, Chairman, South-South, Nigerian Union of Journalists, Susan Serekara Mbikana, Chairperson, Nawach, River State, Chief Host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, FSM, FIMC, FNINN, MNM, ARPA, MIPPA, Chairman, Morrison Group. Date, 10th of March 2025. Venue, Dimeji Banquet Hall, Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5 East West Road by Obirikwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time is 11 a.m.
Call Kehinde Paul Obofani on 0802 301 5728. That is 0802 301 5728 or info@atlanticnetwork.tv or info@wishfm995ph.com. You can also call Laurentia Ogu on 0818 344 6746. That is 0818 344 6746 or lead content at atlanticnetwork.tv. This is signed by management.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. This is the Atlantic Television Network Transition. Now, the rest of our stories. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the appointment of Samsideen Babatunde Ogunjimi as the new Accountant General of the Federation. A statement issued by Tinubu media aide Bayo Onanuga said the appointment came after a rigorous selection process and the appointment takes effect from March 7, 2025, the same day the incumbent Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin, made it expected to retire. Ogunjimi graduated from the University of Nigeria in Nsukka in 1990 with a bachelor's degree of science in accountancy. He also obtained a master's in accounting and finance from the University of Lagos. He is a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. President Tinubu congratulates Ogunjimi on his appointment and urges him to discharge his duties in the service of Nigeria with integrity, professionalism, and dedication. Senate Committee Chairman on Aviation, Senator Fatai Buhari, has raised the alarm that Nigeria's aviation industry is bloated by old aircraft against the practice in developed nations. However, operators, regulators, and other stakeholders dismiss the claim, urging that the age of an aircraft does not matter. Rather, the maintenance of airplanes should be given utmost priority. The senator spoke in Lagos during a stakeholder The senator spoke in Lagos during the stakeholders' engagement of the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, and stakeholders deliberated on issues bordering on ground handling companies in the sector, airline operators, unruly passengers, etc. Buhari called on the sector's handlers to be patriotic in the discharge of their duties, emphasizing the need to prioritize Nigerians above personal interests. Responding, the Acting Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Chris Najumo, countered the senator, adding that maintenance is the key theme for any aircraft and not necessarily the age of the airplane. The Vice President of the Airlines Operators of Nigeria and the Chairman of Airpeace, Allen Oyema, said Nigeria has one of the youngest fleets in the world, adding that while some foreign airplanes parade aged aircraft, they clean and present the same as a new aircraft, causing passengers to think they are newer than Nigerian domestic aircraft. On this path, the Managing Director of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, Mrs. Olubunmi Kuku, said the senator called her attention to the need for internet installation within the entire passenger area of the airports. United Kingdom branch of the Commonwealth Parliament Association has thrown its weight behind the bill seeking for special seats for women at the National and State Houses of Assembly in views of constitution review exercises in the National Assembly. The request for the passage of the bill for the required constitutional amendment on women's inclusiveness in governance was made by support for the bill was made by some members of UK Parliament during courtesy visit to the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, in Abuja. The leader of the delegation, Kate Ofune-Osamo, who pushed for consideration and passage of the bill, said the UK branch of the Commonwealth Parliament is very interested in the legislative proposal aimed at better women inclusiveness in governance.
And
It specifically seeks to establish 37 new seats in the Senate, one for each state and the Federal Capital Territory FCT. The House of Representatives will add 74 seats, 2 for each state, and the FCT, just as it envisions the creation of 108 additional seats across state houses of assembly nationwide, allocating 3 seats per state. In his response, the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, said the bill will be given required consideration.
And the man said yes. But to water it, we'll go into a bit of closed session, as we call it, to discuss the nitty-gritty of it. So what we call in Nigeria is clause by clause considerations. And
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, says the life of the 10th House will be decisive term in the realization of gender inclusion and balance in politics and governance in Nigeria. The Speaker disclosed this during a meeting with the British parliamentarians in office in Abuja, said the 10th House identified the need to ensure gender parity and has commenced the process of effecting constitutional reforms aimed at achieving the goal. Speaker Abbas said the diverse nature of the 10th House, given its multi-party origin, told the members of the parliament that not only is the House diverse in political party representation, but also takes the issue of women and youths very seriously. The Speaker assured that the House, under his leadership, will play a decisive role in actualizing gender parity and called on the United Kingdom Parliament for supporting in actualizing the feat. Earlier, the leader of the delegation, Kate Ofune-Osamo, a Nigerian-born British MP, said they were in the House to deepen the parliamentary diplomatic ties that exist between Nigeria and the UK, as well as to find out about the place of diversity and gender inclusivity in Nigeria's legislature and other aspects of governance. House of Representatives has extended the deadline for the submission of memoranda on the creation of new states and local government to March 26, 2025. According to a statement signed by the House spokesperson Akin Rotimi, the decision was arrived at following public demand for additional time to refine and resubmit their legislative proposals in compliance with Section 8 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. This is coming after, on February 7, 2025, the House Committee on Constitutional Review announced that it had received memoranda to create an additional 31 states, stating that none of the proposals met the constitutional requirements. According to the statement, to be eligible for consideration, proposals for state creation must meet specific requirements, including support from at least 2/3 majority of parliamentarians representing the affected area in the Senate, House of Representatives, State House of Assembly, and local government councils. For local government creation, the outcome of votes by the State House of Assembly and the outcome of the referendum must be forwarded to the National Assembly for legislative action. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives and Chairman of the House Committee on Constitutional Review, Benjamin Carlo, said the goal remains to facilitate a thorough and constitutionally compliant process that addresses legitimate aspirations for state and local government creation. Nigeria's House of Representatives has issued a 3-day ultimatum to oil companies that failed to appear for its investigative hearing into a 9.4 trillion naira debt owed to the federal government. The oil companies include Walter Smith Petroman Limited, Adax Petroleum Exploration Nigerian Limited, Ato Group, Britain U, and 2 others. The ad hoc committee conducting the investigation disclosed this after the companies shunned its earlier invitation that out of the 9 oil companies summoned, only Belema Oil Producing Limited honored the invitation. Belema Oil Producing Limited's team, led by its managing director Ahmed Sambo, was however told to come back on Tuesday because of the late arrival of their documents to the committee. This is coming after the Nigerian lawmakers invited Adax Petroleum Exploration Nigerian Limited, Ato Group, All Grace Energy, Amalgamated Oil Company Nigeria Limited, Army International Petroleum Development Company Limited, Belema Oil Producing Limited, Built-in Energy Limited, Britannia U, and Walter Smith Petroman Limited to appear before it on Monday. The investigation was based on the Auditor General of the Federation's report submitted to the Public Accounts Committee that the amount owed the Nigerian government was unpaid loyalties, concession rentals, gas flare penalties, and other obligations arising from production sharing contracts, repayment agreements, and modified carry arrangements. House of Representatives has called on the federal government to strengthen waste management strategies to curb the rising threat of environmental pollution and its associated health risks across the country. This followed the adoption of a motion sponsored by Julius Pondi, the lawmaker representing Burutu Federal Constituency, Delta State, during plenary on Tuesday in Abuja. Presenting the motion titled Waste Pollution and the Management of Its Impact on Health and Environment, Pondi lamented the growing challenges Nigerians face in handling waste disposals, particularly in the oil and gas and manufacturing industries, adding that ineffective waste management had continued to endanger lives, particularly in communities where industrial activities take place. Pondi further highlighted key contributors to environmental pollution, including hazardous industrial discharges, persistent gas flaring, crude and refined oil spills, particularly in the Niger Delta region, and poor domestic waste disposal practices. Following widespread support for the motion, the House urged the federal government through the Ministry of Environment, the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency to set up enforcement of environmental laws to ensure a cleaner and healthier environment. It also called on states and local government to collaborate with relevant agencies to ensure that oil companies, manufacturing industries, and small and medium-scale enterprise adopt safer and more sustainable waste disposal methods to prevent disease outbreaks. The House mandated its Committee on Environment to conduct a nationwide survey to assess the extent of environmental pollution and evaluate the level of compliance with existing waste management regulations. The committee is expected to submit its findings within 4 weeks for further legislative actions. House of Representatives has called on the federal government for urgently strengthening security in Zamfara State, particularly in communities grappling with persistent attacks by armed bandits. The resolution followed the motion sponsored by Hassan Shinkafi, the lawmaker representing Shinkafi Zomi Federal Constituency, during plenary on Tuesday. Shinkafi, a member of the People's Democratic Party, decried the deteriorating security situation in Shinkafi and Zomi local government areas, where escalating attacks have led to widespread killings, maiming and kidnappings, adding that the House is aware that the governor of Zamfara State is taking pragmatic steps to secure the state, including the establishment of a security trust fund, community protection guards, intelligence sharing mechanisms, and logistical support for security agencies. He also said despite the efforts by the state government, insecurity persists, leaving over 40 villages deserted as residents flee for safety, adding that military troops initially deployed to the area withdrew after 2 weeks, allowing bandits to regroup and resume attacks. Following overwhelming support for the motion, the House urged the federal government to direct the military to establish permanent, well-equipped security bases in Magaya, Kuria, Kware, Dossi, Mashema, Gabimbo, Boko, and Do communities within Shikafi and Zomi local government areas, and also called on security and law enforcement agencies to collaborate with the Zamfara state government to curb the rising wave of insecurity. The House also mandated the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction to provide relief materials to victims affected by the violence in the constituency. Bills seeking the amendment of the Federal Polytechnic Act passed the second reading stage in the House of Representatives. The bill, co-sponsored by the Speaker Tajuddin Abbas and Lagos lawmaker Food Lalguda, seeks to further amend the Federal Polytechnic Act Cap 17 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2024 to make provisions for additional functions of polytechnics in Nigeria. Leading the debate on the general principles of the bill on Tuesday during plenary, Laguda said the amendment of the Principal Act had become necessary given the expanding scope and role of polytechnic education in Nigeria. He said the Principal Act in the Federal Polytechnics Act laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2024 is an act of the National Assembly 2014 seeking to establish polytechnics in various parts of the country to provide full-time courses in technology, applied science, management, and other fields of studies, and to make provision for the general administration of such polytechnics. He also said in order to drive efficiency and advancement of polytechnic education in Nigeria, the Act was amended in 2019 to increase the retirement age of staff of polytechnics and harmonize the tenure of office of the rectors and other principal officers of polytechnics in Nigeria. Now, the bill is seeking to review and enlarge the membership of the council with the inclusion of representatives of technical institutional bodies like the National Board for Technical Education and Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, enlarge the scope of functions of federal polytechnics in Nigeria with clearer and result-oriented administrative structure. Federal government, through the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, says 2025 will be a year when all the transformative reforms initiated by President Bola Tinubu's administration will begin to yield tangible benefits for Nigerians. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, who disclosed this assertion at his ministerial press briefing series held on Tuesday in Abuja, said since the inauguration of the current administration in May 2023, Nigerians have faced economic challenges resulting from various government policies, including the removal of the fuel subsidy and the unification of the foreign exchange market. Additionally, the government has approved the 50% increase in the cost of data and calls, and there are plans to raise electricity tariffs for non-band A customers in the coming months. The measures have contributed to widespread economic hardship. However, Idris reaffirmed the government's commitment, stating that these reforms designed to foster economic growth, improve infrastructure, and enhance national security are expected to start delivering concrete results that will positively impact citizens across the country. He also highlighted that the recent signing of the 54.2 trillion naira budget by President Bola Tinubu, the largest in Nigeria's history, underscores the administration's dedication to economic growth, national security, and infrastructure development, and also commended the Nigerian media for their dedicated coverage of the ministerial briefing season. Representatives of various youth groups have lauded the move by the current administration to reform the country's tax law. The youths who were speaking at the National Youth Dialogue on tax reform bills, which was held at the National Assembly Abuja, said the review will address contemporary challenges in fiscal policies. The further said young people, particularly those engaged in micro, small and medium enterprises, are among the most affected by taxation policies, adding that most low-income earners in Nigeria are youths struggling to start businesses, rent homes or make financial progress, and express their firm belief that the proposed tax reforms aim to ease this burden by ensuring fairer policies that support entrepreneurship and economic independence. While noting some areas of concern which they said should be addressed, they called for a balanced exchange of views, adding that as good as the bills were, and there were areas of uncertainty that needed some clarity for the benefit of Nigerians. The chairman of the House Committee on Youth in Parliament, Honorable Ayodeji Alao Akala, in his remarks insisted that delaying the tax reform any further would be detrimental. The speaker, who was represented by Honorable Leke Abejide Kogi, lauded the bill as catalyst of economic growth and national progress. Lent, one of the most significant periods in the Christian liturgical calendar, begins today, March 5th, 2025, with the observance of Ash Wednesday. This 40-day season, excluding Sundays, is dedicated to penance, fasting, prayer, and almsgiving, leading up to the celebration of Easter on April 20th, and the duration of Lent reflects the 40 days Jesus Christ spent fasting in the desert, a period marked by reflection, sacrifice, and spiritual preparation. On Ash Wednesday, millions of Christians worldwide attend church services to receive ashes on their forehead in the shape of a cross, and the ashes are made from the burnt palms of the previous year's Palm Sunday, serve as a solemn reminder of human mortality and the need for repentance. Key dates in Lent in 2025 are Ash Wednesday, March 5th, Palm Sunday, April 13th, Monday, Thursday, April 17th, Good Friday, April 18th, Easter Sunday, April 20th. The timing of Lent changes each year based on the date of Easter, which is determined by the lunar calendar. Fasting during Lent typically involves abstaining from meat